Okay, go ahead. Okay, we call the meeting to order, or the meeting is open. Our, for the Historic Preservation Commission on Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. Our first order of business is the approval of minutes from the April 9th, 2024 meeting. Does anyone have any comments on the minutes? Okay, hearing none. Does anyone have a motion to approve the minutes as written?
I'll make a motion to approve the April 9, 2024 minutes as written.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Jean actually can't second because she
Oh.
wasn't here
Oh, she was on
for
board.
that. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Doug and Brian that weren't here and they're both not here. Sorry. I'm one line up. It's the bifocals, sorry.
Okay, we have our second, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, anyone opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved as written, the April 9th meeting. Our second order of business is the election of officers. And so and
You need a chair and a vice chair.
chair and vice chair.
You used to have a secretary, but now one of my staff watches the YouTube videos and does the minutes for you all. So you don't need to have a staff member or you don't need to have a volunteer do that. So we just need a chair and a vice chair.
Okay,
And typically the vice chair is only needed when the chair can't make it. And obviously, since our chair steps down and off the commission completely, that's why you've gone to a number of them.
Yeah.
But you can tell them that you don't have to do much
no,
except
there's
the
not much
meeting.
to it all. Anybody interested in doing it? I will continue, I guess, because it's not that big a deal. It's not really hard or anything. But would anyone else like to do it? We need someone to do it. What do we do?
So really, I hesitate to take anything else on, because I kind of got a full plate. Is the only responsibility for the chair then to run the meetings, and the vice chair runs the meetings when the chair's not here, right? That's pretty much it.
That is
isn't it?
correct. So
And-
chair runs the meetings, vice chair runs it when they're not here. My staff and I put together the agenda. If there's something that someone contacts you about, but normally at the end of the meeting, we set the agenda for the next month. No, not much else. And right now, Angela is kindly doing a presentation to the council tomorrow night about the commission and just a yearly report about the commission.
Yeah, it's better than have to be done again for a year.
We need chair, vice chair because Ann stepped down. So we are voting on and looking for volunteers for chair and vice chair.
So you were vice chair already,
We
so.
kind of, yeah, I kind of feel like you're the logical.
You're all warmed up.
Yeah, you are warmed up.
Well, there's, I guess then, I'm still doing it anyway already, aren't I? I am willing to do that part. If nobody else wants to do it, somebody still has to be the vice chair. I'm not the vice chair.
Well, I mean, if it wouldn't be. Yeah, I
There's
could
nothing
do,
to do.
I could do the vice chair then, if that's suitable.
Anybody else? Anybody interested? Okay. Everything works. So now what do we do?
The emotion.
A motion for the slate and a second, and then a vote.
Okay, a motion to accept the slate of nominees. Being myself, Angela Thompson for chairperson and Carol Duncan for the vice chair. We have a motion to accept that.
So moved. I'll second.
Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, now we'll have a vote to, do we vote on it? Like, And there's nobody to vote on.
There's no one to vote on. I think you voted on your slate, you voted on them. We're good.
Okay,
I think we're good.
good, that's all.
Great.
Okay, we have no public hearings. And then, for visitor comments, this is separate though from any comments that anyone would have for our demolitions. So just, are there any visitor comments? Anyone? Okay, so then we are moving on to the new business, which are the demolition requests. And our first one is 439 Landscape Court, which is a single family dwelling. Right? Does anyone have any particular comments to make?
So I did add a couple slides from the packet in case you needed them. So you'll probably note in the packet that the applicants did not provide any pictures really of the house, whether exterior or interior. I did pull and put in your packet a series of photographs. You will also note, I added into the packet some additional information. I added in the aerial photographs from St. Louis County, which kind of identified that this was the only house. This is Blackbird Park over here. There's a whole series of houses now in this area, but it was the only house there. So again, there could be some sort of, if that was the only house and that was their land, maybe it was the house that then potentially was on the land that became Blackbird Park. I don't know. This particular subdivision was designed around the house. When you look at the files from 1972, all of the different configurations all worked around this particular house, and the lot was left larger around that particular house. And then just so you know, so the plat that was created did create a series of, there's 2 lots to the north, the lot that the house is located on, and 1 lot to the south. It's all been under the same ownership, but it's all never been consolidated. So without doing anything, no subdivision plats, no lot splits, no nothing, someone can already build 3 new homes around this particular house. The request for the demolition is because they want to now split that piece of land into 2 lots. 5. So a total of 5 new lots instead of currently 3 new houses and 1 existing house. So again, staff doesn't have much time to do this research. I did do a couple quick things with addresses and I wasn't very successful, but I didn't do much at all. I did a couple newspapers.com. And you'll see the photos, which I didn't put all the photos in the PowerPoint, but you'll see in the photos. There's been an addition. I couldn't tell year-wise when the addition was. It looked like it was, sometime between 50s and 70s, but the aerial photographs for county are pretty muddied from the 1970s, so you can't really tell. And actually, I should probably say it's probably between 50s and 90s, because it was a little hard to see, but you can tell obviously from the photos that it's, there's somewhere in there is the 1901 house. There have been additions over time, but if you all felt that you were fine with it, it was an initial take that I did not get to do much more research.
Thank you.
My impression of it is you really don't see much of the original house. There's nothing distinctive about it. And it's been so, I guess modernized that it almost looks like mid-century modern on the inside to me. Unless we found some historical significance to it, I don't really.
So he has to be
Yeah.
recognized by the chair if you
Okay.
want to take any additional information, because it's not a public hearing.
Okay.
Yes, which you can definitely recognize people, but just follow the procedure of recognizing someone, because this is not a public hearing.
Hi, my name is Kent McPeak. I'm a structural engineer and I'm representing Pentrix Company. I went to inspect the house and there's 2 things about it. One is functional obsolescence. It's just the house is just lots of little tiny rooms. And the basement is just stopped up. There's a lot of water in the basement. And even the addition is kind of screwy. There's a lot of places where there's stairs going up in odd places that, you know, we felt that the house was just not all that useful. The second thing is maintenance on the house has been pretty lackluster for decades. So it's not in very good condition. Nobody could just move in to that house. They'd have to tear the roof off. They'd have to fix the foundations. There's just a lot of things in that house that would have to be fixed for it to be occupied. You're welcome.
Well, for me, I would agree with Sue. House is lacking seriously in its historic integrity. It's very, very difficult to pick out what was the original home. I mean, that doesn't mean it. Not knowing what the original home was makes a little bit of a difference of, you know, is it this chunk that's behind this pine tree? Is that what was the original? You should be able to see it if you cut down a tree, you know, but so we don't know that, but it is somewhat lacking from you know, sustainability standpoint. To me, the house is still an existing building that could be used. And it's always better to use a building than to tear it down. However, that's not what the question. So it's a little tricky for me to say, so like, if we would have to find something just that much more significant in my view of it, because it's just so lacking in integrity from it. It's what would be the historic time period. I don't know if it's worth. If you didn't find anything, it's one thing if you had found something that made you think like, oh, maybe something's there, but I guess it's really unfortunate to me that all that was done to it. but-
Yeah.
How long have the current owners been in the home? Quite a while, right?
But it just was purchased by a developer.
Oh, a new one. Oh, okay,
Yes,
yeah.
so it's purchased by a developer.
Oh, okay,
It is, that I don't know.
okay.
I would assume it's vacant right now, but yes, just purchased by a developer who intends to tear it down, do a lot split for those two, and then build 5 new homes.
Is this the front elevation or is that the side or do we know?
So, the hard part is, so the orientation, if I remember correctly, so the garage is a side entry garage that faces north. And so this should be, or sorry, so a side rear turned around. Hold on, let me get to the. I don't have it. There we go. So the garage doors, which are back here, so let's go back to the photo. These are the garage doors back here, so this is what faces the park. And then this is what faces the street. You can see it in the orientation here. The garage door is right here. This is Blackburn Park behind it. And this is the street right here.
So basically that's the back.
Mhm.
So you
Well,
don't
it's
really-
now the back.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Because of how
Yeah.
the subdivision in the 1970s was created.
So I'm kind of wondering what the historic front of the house might look like.
But when you pull it
Right,
up
that's
on
maybe
Google,
was-
you get a picture like that, that's just Google Street Map, Street
Yeah.
View. You can see that
That's
there's a
what
big.
we're looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of those things
It
too.
looks like
that-
that used to be the front of the porch there.
Yeah.
Have the brick probably.
Well.
Well,
and,
this is an addition. The garage is an addition.
gone.
And then.
Right, and the other
And
part
this-
would
and
have
that
been gone.
Yeah.
And you assume this is what it looked like behind the tree with the porch to the side, maybe.
The thing is, we run across this on older homes all of the time, where the street is now wasn't relevant when the home was built.
Right.
We run into a lot of beautiful homes that have their front facades that are facing the side of the neighbors.
So the driveway used to come or the access came, I think if I'm remembering correctly, through here and around. or three, or there might have been one that sort of wound its way down this way. When you look at the aerial. And then when they created this, at one point, there was actually a strange diagonal, when they first applied to try to get more house lots in. It did not do what it does today, which was it didn't come in and then turn.
It's just sad.
Yeah.
But yet,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's a cul-de-sac or what?
It is, it's a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
So was that a farm?
It's interesting, if you look at the various aerials over time, the aerials actually there was some really big, the next set of aerials has some big set of greenhouses here, like there's massive roof after roof after roof after roof. Almost looks like a little industrial area. So I would assume, yes, that this was originally a farm of some kind.
In which case the front is, farms don't necessarily have a front to the street either, because the way they build their house could be a little different because of the space. But, I don't know.
As my inclination is, from what we're seeing here, it looks like it's been altered badly. However, there's that part of me that says, I wonder if this is indeed the historic front of the house, or if on another side, there's something that would make you think, oh, well, maybe they just screwed up the side that isn't the main facade. We've had some through ARB that are historic homes, and because one in particular, because it was on the corner over the years, the side of the house has been developed to function as the front. But the beautiful historic porch and the original design is still there, but it's secondary just because of the way the front has been developed. If you were to look at the way the side of that particular house has been developed, you would say, well, this isn't a historic house. But when you walk around the front, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I guess that's what you gotta wonder what it looks like behind the tree. And, and the rest, obviously the inside is the inside, but we're not worried about that necessarily, so.
Well, I know both, well, in our careers, we've seen a lot of really houses that were in very poor repair that were brought back to life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, including ones that look just as bad, not worse than what we're seeing here.
So,
It's a fine line to walk. I mean, my inclination is it worth another 30 days just to take a look at it, see what the other side looks like, and see if we can find something. Gone is gone,
that's right. Once it's over, it's not bringing it back, so. I don't know, does anyone else have, another 30 days is, if they're doing that big of a project.
So is the one lot, like you said, there are two open lots on one side and one open lot on the other side. Is the open lot between that house and its neighboring house?
So this is so there's a lot here, a lot here, and a lot over here. Then there's a house at the end of the cul-de-sac. So this is the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
So there's one on the south of the house and two on the north of the lot.
Yeah.
And again, the lot was essentially created as a double lot to have the house.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily look like, it looks like they did the additions after the subdivision was approved potentially in 72. So, yeah. Yes.
That's the one.
Yeah, so there's one on that side and then two on the other side. And someone could come in today with those three lots and go straight to architecture review board because the lots are already there.
Not sure what we're gonna find in 30 days, honestly.
Yeah, I just try to do a little Google search and find anything really.
So. Yes, we need to decide, so is that, I mean, how, so you're thinking just,
Can we
you're not so
approve
sure holding it
that?
over is,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
gonna get us anywhere.
I
So
feel
much
the same way.
Yeah.
It's like serious,
Shingles and.
especially the foundation. Pretty big.
Okay, so. Okay, I guess then we might as well, what, does anyone want to make a motion then?
I move we approve the demolition of 439 Landscape Court.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, we have approved 439 landscape court demolition request. Okay, moving on to the next one, 330 North Boar Avenue.
So I'll give you a little history on this one. So this is what had formerly been Edgewood Children's Center, then Great Circle, and is now KVC. Back when it was Great Circle, we worked with them 10 years ago to rezone them to a major educational campus district. At that time, they had a master plan approved. That master plan was approved and gave permission for these 3 structures to be demolished. Since then, your codes have changed. Let's say that if it's anything older than 50 years old, before it was 100 years old, that you do have to come before historic preservation. So to dot all of our i's and cross all of our t's, they brought all 3 buildings in. One of them is not even 50 years old. The other 2 are more than 50 years old. That way we've kind of covered all of our bases, but it was part of the master plan that had been approved for these 3 to be demolished. So I did provide the aerial photograph just so you can see, it's a pretty large campus with a number of buildings. As a reminder, there is a National Register historic structure on this property, which is obviously being saved. This one, which is less than 50 years old, I went ahead and threw a couple of the photos in. The 2 structures that are being requested, one of them is 7,000 square feet and the other 6,600 square feet. Again, per the other regulation in the master plan, they were technically approved, but this is before you so that you can look at both of these structures for requests for demolition. And there are multiple people here who can answer other questions.
And I see that they're being replaced with some planned redevelopment there.
So at this point, this is what we're focusing on. There will be other steps to the process of what their next steps will be.
But we won't be.
You will not be involved in them.
So this, it's not for them. Does Webster require any sort of, recycling of materials when people then demolish them?
No, we don't. We do not. The Sustainability Commission, if they hear that, will probably start asking if they need a code change.
Other municipalities.
I don't know of any specifically that do. I mean, I know that some, if you're demolishing a house, they ask you to try to, save the brick, salvage what you can. But we don't have a specific ordinance.
Just curious. Okay, does anybody have any comments on this one? Are all of you here for this one?
Yes.
Sorry, we don't have any questions.
You're welcome. Well, I guess you could recognize this, if they wanted this.
Yeah, is there anything you guys particularly want to say or?
If there's any questions you have, I mean, we're here to help. It's a big project, so we're in
Yeah.
line for some other stuff. And we can talk about it.
Certainly looks like a A lot of space will be cleared there, so I assume you're doing something.
Mark, can you go back to the overall area?
Yes. Just realized we weren't,
On camera.
people couldn't see us.
So
Yes.
where are the three on here?
So you've got one here. You've got the second one here. And then shoot, I'm,
They're
They're not adjacent to each other.
Yes.
It's the Hitchcock and Chalkhaven.
There.
No,
No, sorry.
It looks like it's one building.
It's one roof
Oh,
structure, but
yes.
there's two buildings, there's a breezeway between. the two.
This one here, that one there, and that one there. So it's
Okay.
just these right here.
And is this oriented north? Like
Yes, correct. So this is Rock Hill Road
Okay.
right here. You've got Gore down here and then
The historic
Holm
one.
College. The historic structure is smack dab in the middle right there. Yes.
Okay, so, do we have a motion for this project?
I think based on the fact that they already had approval for the demolition, we don't need to revisit it.
Is it a motion?
Okay, so that's a motion to approve.
The demolition of 330 North Gore.
Second,
One second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, no one, the demolition request for 330 North Gore Avenue.
Thanks all.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you so much.
See you again soon.
So,
Oh, it's just.
Guess we could have asked them a couple questions, just.
Right.
Feel
I
like-
In town.
I offered,
Going for dinner.
I offered that they would be on Zoom and they're like, we're already here. I was like, okay.
Hopefully
John
they were
upset?
at our meeting. too.
Yeah, they had other meetings to go to, but nothing with me.
Hymns from National Chips and. I don't think they're missing.
It's a good sign that they showed up. for that.
yeah, actually it is, that's what I thought, it's nice of them to show up, they're interested in
Yeah.
pleasing the community.
Right.
Yeah.
You did say they were already here for other stuff too, so it's good that they can do several things.
Be good neighbors.
There was in the news today, a story about two girls who.
No, that was in KBC. That was Epworth.
Oh, I get them mixed up all.
The other
Yeah.
eight.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
That was Epworth.
Especially when one was Epworth and one was
And
Edgewood.
that's why, I
Yeah.
got-
It
yeah,
was the easy way to get them very, very confused.
yeah.
I can give you a comprehensive plan update. So I know some of you attended we had a series of 13 listening sessions. We had a public workshop. We had a brief meeting with, what we are calling our, destination ambassadors, which will help kind of, focus, them as they are coming in and out of town and, get initial looks at documents and things like that. I know that Angela came and represented HPC. Carol, you went to a different one. John, you went to one also. And then Hillary is one of our destination ambassadors. So I think we're gonna be very well represented. So that was that first round of gathering of data. They are now going back. We've given them access to our GIS mapping and all of our layers, a bunch of other documents that they have. They did go around. I did a 2-hour plus tour around the city with them. It was fun. They did some additional touring after they were done before they flew out of town. So now they're sort of working on getting all that initial information together before they come back in town for future meetings. In between there is currently, I'm gonna do a stop share for the moment. And I'm gonna go to the website. So we do have a journey to, I think that's right. That's right. Yes. They have a website that's here. This website does have a survey, so they are continuing to take surveys through the 20th. They will add another survey coming up for like sort of this next round as they get moving forward. They are going to be providing us with some information, and we're going to start asking various board and commission members to volunteer for things like Webster Arts Festival. We want to make sure we have surveys at one of the tents there so that people can pick things up and sort of talk about this process going forward. We're going to want to do that for community days. We're going to want to do that with other groups, whether it's things with the high school, with students, with people at Liquid Groves, just all of those different ways to get information out for both people to fill out the survey, but also be aware of other upcoming meetings. The process is intended to take at least 1 year. So we're looking at ending it in, say, May, June. I'm assuming it's probably going to go June, July. They will be coming back in town, but probably not until after the summer is over. So a lot of what they're going to be doing is giving us things to distribute out and continuing to give them information. The destination ambassadors I'm supposed to be scheduling, I'm still finalizing a couple of them and making sure I have the whole group pulled together, but they would be doing their next meeting via Zoom with them so that they can kind of keep up during this time frame where they're data gathering. If you keep going down, there's a whole welcome to the website and different ways that people can be engaged. So this was the conversations, this is the open house and speak out. So you're intending for, things to continue to occur. And then you can stay up to date by signing up and you'll get any updates for the process. So that is my comprehensive plan update. Any thoughts or questions?
So what do the ambassadors do? And
It's
I'm
supposed
just
to be
curious.
similar to a steering committee. It's essentially similar to a steering committee. However, yeah, like championing, and again, I think the idea was people who can have various connections in the community and get information out, but also getting a first look at it so that they can get a take. It's a broad group, so that they can get a take and say to the consultants, I don't know if you have enough, this really doesn't read well, or I don't know if you have enough information on this, or whatever it is, but getting a first look at it so that it's a small group, getting some initial feedback and being able to move that forward.
Did you attend a lot of the sessions, Mom?
I did not attend a single session, and that was purposeful. We wanted people in those sessions to be able to talk as freely as possible without city staff in there. And then for the public workshop, all the council members that were there, as well as staff that were there, essentially, we all walked out of the room and left them to do their brainstorming around tables. We came back in to listen to the feedback, but we tried to stay out and let them be able to talk freely.
I mean, that was good. The reason I asked that was just to get a sense if there were any particular issues that you kept hearing over and over again from
They're gonna
various.
provide that for you. They are gathering everything that they've heard, and they're gonna create a summary, and they're gonna post the summary.
Right, because I just, it sounds like they're doing a great job engaging the community. And just as an overview, I was wondering sort of what the top issues were that they were hearing.
That's next steps.
And I think maybe the presentation or the exhibits might give you kind of the areas that they were asking about as far as feedback. It'll be.
Yeah, so this is the PowerPoint presentation that they did at the workshop that talked about some of the timelines and some of the information. And then they did have exhibits that were talking about the focus. So neighborhoods, housing and neighborhoods, sustainability and conservation, economic vitality, and districts and placemaking were the 4 focus areas that they talked about in their small groups at the workshop. But there is additional, yes. That was the comment cards and the open mic, and that was what they pulled together. That was the whole document, but those are available there.
And the surveys really has a lot of I don't know if you've clicked into it yet, but it's like, please do it and also allow yourself a little bit of time to do it, because there's a lot
A
there.
lot of open-ended
Yeah,
questions. What do you think about? kind of
I've opened
thing?
it a couple
It might
times.
be
like,
survey day,
"Oh,
yeah,
no,
so-
And when does the survey?
You can choose which one.
The survey closes on the
Monday.
20th.
Oh, well, I
Yes.
better get on it.
Yeah.
I'm going out of town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like Mark said, there'll be other.
There'll be other
opportunities.
opportunities, other
This
surveys,
one
other
is
things.
Monday.
Okay.
Because they need to
This
at
one
least
and then
have a
the-
deadline so that they can start gathering all that information and putting it forward. They're also gonna be, I think mapping, we're gonna give them, of all the people that they had their listening sessions on, we're gonna give them, for those that are Webster residents, their addresses so that they can kind of map and see, is there an area that they're missing from? We did have a session of city employees who are also Webster residents. So we made sure that we kind of overlapped that. But it was all kind, there was a educational session, a religious institution session, a wellness and aging session. There was, I'm forgetting what else, but it was a very wide variety. Oh, we had one with developers, house developers and commercial developers, multifamily.
Were those people who live in Webster or?
Those were not, those were just ones that we see regularly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That do most of the work. That work, do a lot of work.
Mhm. Yeah, so we invited and had someone with the multifamily that built the L. And then I'm trying to remember, but it was like three, I think it was, I'm trying to remember who, we invited a lot and we had like 5 or 6 show up. And then we also invited, we only had a couple chamber members. We invited members of the chamber who don't have businesses in Webster Groves. Because the chamber is a Rock Hill, Shrewsbury, Webster chamber.
Yeah.
So we wanted people who have businesses and are a part of our chamber, but don't have a business in Webster, because we had another session on Webster businesses. So it was a lot.
Sounds like it.
It was a lot for them.
It's a big project. It's exciting though, because 1970. What was our last full one?
78.
Yeah, so this is a really unique opportunity that we can put in our input for what we want the next 20, 30 plus years to look like for the community. So it's
Yeah.
kind of exciting.
Which should be more like 20.
That's usually a planning horizon.
But you never know.
Yeah. Well, it kind of says something a little bit about Webster Groves, like there was probably a little bit of, plenty of people who felt like, it's going along, okay, I don't know. There was a little bit of that to
Maps
it.
in 2000s.
So the 78 was the last full plan. 2005, 2006 is when they did start another process like this. It lasted for almost 2 years. The city council ended up only adopting the maps from the document and did not adopt anything else in the document. The document was never finished completely. That document is available on the website, but only the maps were adopted. And the maps are not a typical land use map. Future land use map, they actually look like small area plans. They have footprints of like buildings on them, which is not what you want for a land use map. So in 2017, because we still had maps from 1978, and they only focused on commercial districts. They only did the commercial districts. They didn't do anything else in the city of Webster Groves. So it was Watson, Crossroads, Old Webster, Old Orchard, and an area on Kirkham where the industrial is. And so those were their focus areas and those maps were adopted. So in 2017, we held a series of public meetings with the Plan Commission and we talked with all the business districts and other people and then had public hearings at the city council to merge our maps together so that we at least had a one land use map that took into account kind of what the little small area maps were intending to do and what was in the document with what we had from the 1978 map. The 78 map only had, actually I can show it to you. The 78 map had just like 3 colors. And the planning plan. See if I can zoom to the map. The 78 map, yep, all typewritten.
So do we expect 43 pages for?
I'm gonna say a little more. There we go. So that's the land use, and if you look at this little code, there's single family, multifamily. This is what was the use at the time in 1975, but the future land use map only has residential, commercial, and public or semi-public. So schools, churches, all of them were all lumped into this green color. And anything commercial was just lumped into commercial, anything, yeah. So
And so what was the red?
the red is commercial,
Oh, really? Isn't that interesting?
yeah.
I'm just looking at my house going commercial.
Yes.
Oh.
So yeah, so the red is commercial. You don't even want to see the 2005, 2006 maps. Because
You're gone.
they take out entire swaths of neighborhoods.
Oh, my.
So this is what they did. They said, this is existing, so it's mixed use existing. And this over here, they actually drew footprints of parking lots and buildings and other things, which is not what you want in a comprehensive
What
plan.
is that? up there?
This is
That is
all what ended up being, was called Douglas Hill. So this was the Douglas Hill area. This is the old Reliable Life building here. This is Llewellyn's and the houses facing Elm. This is across from City Hall. And this is next door to City Hall.
So we got rid of the AT&T hub, huh?
We got rid of a bunch of stuff. This is Old Orchard. So this is the whole where the Starbucks and other things are. This is where the Boulevard Salon is. And then they were taking out just about every multifamily and every little small business all up and down here. This is Crossroads. So this is the Schnucks. And they're taking down every house from Jackson
Oh.
over to Gore. And
But that's-
everything.
This
Yes,
is 2005?
this is 2005.
And who's they? Like, did we have a consultant again?
There was a consultant. There was a
What do you
consultant.
mean taking down?
Like,
So were they just told that is not what we asked you to do?
No. I think again, it's a future land use. You look at if there is going to be something, where are your areas you're gonna develop?
Yeah,
But normally you would put it in as this
Yeah.
could be future multifamily, or this could be future.
you don't actually draw in the.
They'd
Yeah.
have just some of
Not
larger swaths of color.
Blobs.
Blobs of color, but they put footprints, so.
One's from Kansas City?
No, they were from, I can't remember right
Gould
now.
Evans.
Gould Evans, are they in Colorado?
They're in Kansas.
They're in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So this was Gould Evans. And then this is like everything on Watson. We're just gonna take it all down. But everything that's shown as these little squares were new buildings. They were
that
gonna,
they're just making up in their head.
Right.
That's
These studies.
different.
You know,
um,
coming for a lot of years, it's been very popular. Towns, little areas like ours all over. You know, like if you weren't doing it, Clayton probably did this how many years ago?
so we did
It's that popular.
take our maps, and if it said retail or commercial or whatever, our 2017 map melded them both together and left them as blobs of color, so that it was just much more like if it showed mixed use, like if it showed a little bit of red, like they were trying to indicate that the first floor would be retail and the upper floors would be residential or office, we just made it mixed use. So we were like, okay, they talked about it, they had hearings or meetings and they discussed mixed use. We made it mixed use on the plan. So we were trying to merge all of that together, and that's what our current future land use zoning map looks like.
We will get new maps out of this.
We will get new maps, we will get all new maps and a new document and all kinds of other stuff. So that is my update.
That is a big update. The bond issue stuff is moving forward. So there was a in-person pool meeting last week. There's a virtual one on Thursday. If you're interested in pool stuff, it's gonna be on Zoom and recorded too. And then, you know, the
Budget.
yeah, and the bond, park bond issues, things will happen over like the next 5 years, so there'll be like more discussions about more projects. Budget is big, which they're long meetings, I will say that, they're
Really?
long suffering staff. But also, if you wanna watch them on Zoom in chunks, sped up, it's a really good way to learn about what goes on in the city and the different departments. So I think like it is long, but it's also very insightful on where your tax dollars go. And then tomorrow we've got the board and commission updates, which I think is another like really great way to, especially for people who maybe aren't on a board or commission yet, to like find out like what does that mean to be on a board or commission? So that's exciting. We have new council liaison assignments, so this is my last
Yeah.
official one for HBC, which I enjoy. Karen Alexander is coming back, because she's been here before, right?
Yeah, she's here the last.
So she'll be the next, I'll still be on green space and I'm gonna go on plan, so I'm excited about that with. It's exciting, and is there anything else? I think those are the big things, but if you can't do the survey, I think that's a great way to get input into the conference.
Thank you, Emily, for doing such a great
Yeah,
job as our.
thank you.
Thank you very much. It's good, it's a good group.
Appreciate your support.
Oh,
I don't have anything else.
All
on the
right.
agenda.
Anybody else?
I think our storms are going bad.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, and do we need a motion to adjourn? Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I will technically make a motion to.
I'll second.
Well done, a second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, we are adjourned.
Thank you.